The Hidden Fire, the story of Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. The fire behind a crown. They said she was too soft to be a queen, too tender-hearted for politics, too generous for survival in a cold, calculating world. But Elizabeth of Hungary, barely 20 years old, widowed and heartbroken, would prove that love, when rooted in God, is the most powerful revolution of all. This is not just a story about a saint who gave bread to the poor. It's the story of a woman who turned her suffering into mercy and her royal crown into a burning torch that lit up an entire kingdom. Elizabeth was born in 1207 into the royal house of Hungary. From childhood, she was promised in marriage to Ludwig IV of Thuringia, a noble and kind man who would become her greatest earthly ally. Unlike most royal couples, they truly loved one another. Elizabeth was radiant with simplicity. She would pray barefoot in the chapel, visit the sick, and feed the poor even in her silken gown. Ludwig didn't just allow it. He joined her, but not everyone approved. The courtiers whispered that the young queen was humiliating the royal house. "A queen does not touch lepers," they sneered. One day Ludwig followed her secretly to see where she was going with baskets hidden under her cloak. "What are you carrying?" he asked. She hesitated, because she knew if they saw bread for the poor, they would scold her again. So she opened her cloak, and the bread had turned into roses. A miracle, yes, but also a sign. God himself was blessing her love for the poor. But the greatest test was still to come. When Ludwig went on the Crusades, Elizabeth waited for his return, only to receive word that he had died on the journey. In a single night, she lost everything: her husband, her status, even her home. Driven from the castle with her children, she found herself in exile. The same nobles who once dined at her table now turned their backs. Yet in that darkness, something divine was born. She whispered, "He was taken from me, but you, my Jesus, will never leave me." Elizabeth began to live completely for the poor. She sold her jewels, built a hospital with her own dowry, and served the sick with her own hands. When someone mocked her, "How can a queen wash the wounds of beggars?" she replied simply, "I am washing the wounds of Christ." It's easy to admire Elizabeth's generosity. But what made her truly extraordinary wasn't just charity, it was how she loved. She didn't give because she had much. She gave because she knew what it meant to lose everything. Her compassion was born from her own pain. In our world today, compassion is often seen as weakness. We are told to protect ourselves, to avoid being hurt. But Elizabeth teaches us that only the broken-hearted can truly love deeply. The miracle of her roses reminds us, when we carry love under our cloak, when we dare to bring it into a cold, cynical world, God can transform even our simplest gifts into something beautiful. Her story is not about royal wealth, it's about divine exchange. She gave bread, and God gave roses. She gave sorrow, and God gave sanctity. Centuries later, the castle of Wartburg still stands, but Elizabeth's legacy outshines every stone. She was canonized only 4 years after her death, one of the fastest in church history. But the true miracle isn't in the roses or the titles. It's in the hearts she changed. You and I may not wear crowns, but like Elizabeth, we walk through our own losses, our own exiles. We too are invited to turn grief into grace. Maybe today, someone near you is hungry for kindness. Maybe a friend is carrying pain in silence. You don't need a miracle to change their life, just the courage to love as Elizabeth did. So as you end your day, ask yourself, where can I turn bread into roses? Where can I turn sorrow into service? Because the fire that burned in the heart of Saint Elizabeth still burns. In you, in me, in every soul that chooses love over fear. And when that fire spreads, even the coldest kingdoms can bloom again.